Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Erica Schmerica Reality Recaps. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite show, Love After Lockup. It's Friday and it is my favorite day of the week. And today we're going to have a little bit of reality glam because we're going to do a hair tutorial as we discussed last week's episode to catch up for tonight's big premiere. Today, I think the only thing that we could possibly do is the iconic hairstyle of Lisa as her ramen noodle hair with her very iconic headband. So let's get started. What you're gonna need for today's tutorial, if you wanna have the ramen noodle hair, is a curling iron. 3/4 inch barrel will do it, but anything smaller than that would work even better. A comb, maybe a couple bobby pins just for good measure, and some hairspray. That's about it. Of course, you're going to have to BYOB, bring your own bandana of your favorite gang affiliation or prison gang or whatever you choose. First up on today's recap are Rachel and Dougie. So Rachel and Dougie wake up in their new marital bed, just excited to be together. You know, Rachel's making these bologna sandwiches left and right. But they're excited because it's a big day because it's the first day that Dougie is going to see his son Dougie Jr. on the outside. So they're all very excited about this. And Dougie Jr. shows up. Now remember, a couple episodes ago, the kid threatened to punch his dad in the gut and then hug him. However, he was just so taken aback with emotion when he saw his dad in the free world that he refrained from punching him and just hugged him instead. A truly heartwarming moment. So then Dougie Jr. became everyone's hero when he said, exactly what everyone else wanted to say to dear old Doug when he just called him out on everything. Throughout the entire episode, he asked him questions such as, how many times did you drop the soap? He called him a womanizer. He repeatedly just kind of made fun of his dad and undermined his authority, which does he have any authority? I don't know. He wasn't even in the kid's life most of his life. Anyway, so Rachel was just kind of along for the ride. Her mom had showed up to drop off Dougie Jr., and her mom was meeting Doug for the very first time. Doug, of course, made a lasting impression on Rachel's mother, who was now terrified because he was so, out there and just brazen and kind of saying whatever he thought and mentioned that, in front of her mother and his son, that, he and Rachel were busy at the hotel trying to make her a grandchild. Oh, why would you go there? Anyway, Rachel's mother was terrified. She did not like Doug, and she was really hoping that Rachel would probably give her bologna to somebody else. Then there were Nicole and Deonte. So I guess Deonte did capture Nicole after all because he was heading back to his apartment to show Nicole the goods and hoping that he got to see hers in return. But meanwhile, Nicole was more impressed with the candles and the ambiance and the mood that he set. Rose petals, there was a teddy bear on the bed along with all of the beautiful things he purchased, like a lot of lingerie, maybe from Joyce Leslie, I'm not sure, as well as Victoria's Secret. And Nicole actually, to humor him, went and put on the lingerie. Now, she agreed to dance for him because she was used to doing that for people in prison. Not really sure how her prison stripping career got started or how lucrative that was, but she seemed to know what she was doing. She made Deonte sit on his hands because he was a little too excited by the dancing. It got really weird. He took his shirt off and he was crawling around on his knees. It was definitely a strange situation. So nonetheless, she kind of teased him a little bit before stopping before anything got too physical and told him that, they couldn't get physical. He bought her a boob job. So now this is her newest gift that she really wants, which of course she would probably use to go show her boobs to somebody else. So we never really got to see the rest of what happened that night, probably all for the best. And then the next scene we saw them, they were headed over to the hair salon, where Nicole was going to have extensions put into her tragically bleached blonde hair. Oh my God, watching her mother bleach her hair last week was slow torture with the hot roots and the Kraft macaroni and cheese blonde with no toner. Anyway, not to be a hair snob about it, But she's getting her extensions put in, and who met her at the hair salon? Her ex-cellmate. Because we haven't seen this storyline before where there's a bunkie. There's always a bunkie. Then, of course, the bunkie has to reveal either through herself or just by rumor that, like, the person's likes women, you know? Like, so it was like Lisa confessed that she liked women. Remember back in the day, Brittany and her old bunkie, not the one that went to jail, Amanda, her old girlfriend, Amanda. And they did that again with Lindsay and Terrible, her old roommate. So anyway, now this time, Nicole's got a secret roommate, and she was gay for the stay, apparently. So here we go again. Who's to say what's going to happen next week if Deonte finds out about this? The suspenseful music is playing. She's holding up her handmade Michael's Arts and Crafts glitter sign. Welcome home, Jeff. And she's waiting to see if he actually, in fact, gets off this bus. So as we're waiting in suspense, everyone exits the bus and no Jeff. So she's devastated, thinking he stood her up for like the 5th time. And then the bus comes back, and here comes Jeff, who fell asleep like a bum on the bus. And ironically, he really looked like a bum. I mean, I know the guy just got out of prison and all, but man, he had this necked out t-shirt on. He looked filthy. His eyes were all red. He was missing so many teeth. He was kind of like the Wish.com version of Tony, as in Angela and Tony. I think Anissa's probably going to have to make some kind of list for him for the refrigerator for reference. Now, Jeff couldn't believe that Anissa had brought her male friend Kyle, and he thought that was really strange. I kind of thought it was strange too. But anyway, she only had 30 minutes to drive him to the halfway house, which she did, and it appears that she may have made it on time. Can't wait for next week to see what Tony has in store for us. And here we have it, the end result of the Lisa ramen noodle hair from last week's episode. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Erica Schmerica Reality Recaps Reality Glam. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to like and subscribe to my new YouTube channel, and go ahead and hit that notification button to get notified about all new videos that I post. Enjoy your love after lockup, and I'll see you all next week. Bye!